Hello, this is Sierra and welcome to another video. Today we are doing another short story based on the third book of the Clockwork Chronicles. And yeah, this one is basically telling into the attack on Nettie and her world, all that stuff. It's like what happened there. Like, it was my best attempt at retelling it. It's like, I've done a lot of stuff, like, yeah. You should probably get to it. If you haven't seen any of the others, or haven't read the books, you probably should, got spoilers and all that stuff. But yeah, you'd probably know that already. Ambushed. Days had passed since Nettie had last heard from her brother, after he had called her late one night to tell her about Stacy's and Lizzie's disappearances. She hadn't believed it at first, especially after how well protected the school actually was. Well, she had been told that it was anyway, and then her friend Tony worked there. He would know. She couldn't imagine why or how the men could have done something like this, but it clearly had to do something with Gerald, who wanted her brother dead. That was the reason Stumpy had called her, to warn her in case the men came for her next. She just hoped that their ramped-up security would be enough, but she was more worried about her brother's safety more than her own. "Everything all right?" Martin asked from beside her. Caused her to jump slightly as she looked over to see the man who had come after her. The men had first captured her and brought her to his lovely world. He had sought out help and found it, and it ended up working out in the end. She was just glad he was there for her, when she didn't even know if anyone could hear her cries for help. "Yeah, I'm alright," she replied quietly as she fidgeted in her seat. The meeting hall wasn't completely full yet. What did I say, Bell? But just about everyone was going to be here, and it always made her real nervous each time. But it was a necessity, not just for her, but for all of them. "Something tells me otherwise," the YouTuber mused with a smile. "It's only mine." "It's been a few days since I heard from Stampy about Stacy and Lizzie being missing," she admitted. "I just don't want something to go wrong, that's all. The men haven't tried coming after us in weeks. Besides, no one here is going to let those men take you," Barton assured her. "Even if they do attack, we'll stop them." "I know," she replied with a nod. "But I still feel uneasy about all of this. We'll be careful, okay? You promised your brother that you would," Martin said with a sly smile. Nettie returned that smile. The man took her paw. She squeezed it as she nodded. "I will be careful if you guys will." "That's a promise I plan to keep," the man said with full confidence. It eased her nerves slightly, knowing her friend was right. The men hadn't attacked them in weeks. What were the chances of targeting them again after what had happened last time? They were all together. She wasn't that stupid to wander off on her own again. No doubt the men knew that. She looked around the relatively large room, noting that many people were talking and laughing, not seeming to notice the uneasy situation that just seemed too easy to miss. But they were also so happy, so free, which was something that normally would put a smile on her face, because she knew it was far better than being imprisoned and turned over to their enemies. Steppy had survived that torment. She refused to let it happen to her friends. This was their livelihood, their home. No one had the right to try to take it from them. Suddenly, the cheerful atmosphere seemed to darken, as she felt a shiver climb up and down her spine. It was a feeling she had felt once before, but she wasn't sure if she should say anything or not. Before she could mention it to Martin, a loud explosion erupted from the front of the building, and she was knocked down by Martin, who shielded her from the flying debris. She screamed as the explosion rang in her ears, shaking as the blast faded. The YouTuber got off her. Are you okay? Martin asked her with concern. She shook her head as she looked up to see 6 men walk through the... What is up with the hole in the wall? Apparently it doesn't like holes in walls. Through the hole into the room. And 3 more coming through the back and side entrances. They were trapped, cornered. Strange men were here, just like her brother had feared. She could hear the gasps and groans of friends around her, and she stumbled to her feet, Martin right beside her, looking determined and unafraid. Well, looks like we came just in time to crash this little party. One of the men mused as he shifted his look over at her, and she took an uneasy step back. If those men wanted to kill them, they could easily do so. But why weren't they attacking? Why were they just standing around? Were they waiting for something? What do you want? Martin snapped, stepping in front of his friend, shielding her away from them. She wasn't sure if it helped much, because she could feel their eyes on her. They made her awfully uncomfortable. I think you know very well what we want, the other man replied with a chuckle. But I know you'll be hesitant to do so, so I decided to come up with a little deal for you. What kind of a deal? Martin said doubtfully, anger sparkling in his eyes. Hand that little friend of yours behind you to us. We'll leave your friends alone. The man sneered. That's something I highly doubt your leader will agree to, the YouTuber said blandly. Do you really want to risk losing everything, YouTuber? The man snapped. Martin raised his chin higher, defiant. You have to take it first. None of us will let you. Nettie swallowed as she watched the lead man nodded, glancing at the soldiers surrounding him. Any moment, they could attack and destroy them all. But the look on the man's eyes suggested that they had other plans. Take out the others, the man mused to his men. Leave the bush baby and her little friend to me. Her eyes widened in horror as the men began to close in. They didn't extend their They didn't extend their swords like she had expected, only pushing back anyone who tried to push through to help them. Nettie could see the lead man was approaching her, with 2 other men at his side. Martin extended his sword as he stood tall, ready to defend. But when the other 2 men extended their sword, her uneasiness grew. Martin, please, Nettie warned her nervously. There's no use trying to convince him, Bush, maybe, the lead man said with a laugh. And to ensure he can't get help, we'll take him with us. Her eyes widened as the 2 men lunged at Martin, who fought, turning back as quickly as he could, but she knew before it even happened, the men would overpower him. She screamed when one of the men attacked her friend from behind, and he slumped to the ground. Arms wrapped around her, she screamed again, struggling as she watched one of the men toss Martin over his shoulder as if he weighed nothing. Nettie! A voice cried in the crowd, but she couldn't turn to see who it was. But she recognized the voice, and it brought tears to her eyes. She was dragged away from the building as the other men split up and locked the doors to keep her friend from getting away. When she was outside, she noticed something that made her heart skip a beat in horror. Hovering above the building was a black helicopter with a blue clock on his side. Had this been the way the men had got here so quickly? Why was it there? Suddenly, she saw something shoot out of the dispensers and explode as soon as it hit the roof of the building. She screamed again as she realized what was happening. Stop struggling, Bush baby. It won't help you, the man's voice said coldly. Your friends made their choice, and they'll pay for it with their lives. No, she said softly, shaking her head as tears formed in her eyes. Please, no. But the man ignored her. They disappeared through the trees leaving her town as she felt the echo of the explosions echoed in her mind, shattering her hopes of anyone finding out what had happened until it was too late. Okay. That is the end of that short story. If you've read the books, listened to the books, you already know what happened. You already know the ending. Because I do this after I read the books. Because spoilers. Like book 4, it has spoilers. It also has cameos that are coming. Which means I can't share them stories because spoilers. And yeah. I definitely do have Nettie's world and town all recreated. I just not gonna show it until I get to seeing it. I mean, we get to seeing it, and like once we know what the building is for, I will share it with you, because there's one building that's there that isn't here as of this story, but it is in book 4. I'm not gonna say what. Not that it really matters, but I'm not gonna say what, because it's better if I reveal it in the story. When it's time to reveal it in the story. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah. Leave a comment down below any theories of what you might think might happen in the next book. And yeah, I explore an idea of other ideas and all that stuff. Yeah. Hit the Target has probably gone very quiet. He hasn't shown up since the 2nd book. And he doesn't show up in the 4th book either. He's gone very quiet. But that doesn't mean he can't come back in any of the short stories to come. Yeah. It's just the Target is such a small villain compared to Mr. A and all that stuff. It's just like I just did it for the nostalgia, but then the first few attacks, like, yeah, we're good. Yep. The Target is such a minor villain. I mentioned him, but he's such a minor villain. Don't have many attacks unless I create them myself. And when creating my own hidden target attacks, I have to make sure I don't do any ideas that I want Stampy to do. It's like I have ideas for the target attacks, but I want Stampy to do them, not me. If he wants to, of course. It's like I have ideas, but if I share them, then he was the original one. I don't want him to be the original one. I don't want to take credit. I don't want to take credit. Cool. It's totally fine. Yeah. That is why there aren't very many target attacks. But I am planning to start something soon. I started with the analysis theory video about whether or not the helpers could see a difference between Stampy and Mirror Stampy. If, like, taking a what if Stampy didn't make it back from the mirror world. Like, it was trapped there. It's like, if that happened. Yeah, pretty much. And then I suggested there that maybe I could do more of them. Because there are more that I could dive into. It's like, what if the helpers failed and I lost? And hero helpers to help Stampy. The target would have taken over, obviously, but what would it look like? and gatecrashers. What if Stampy was still trapped down in the polar bear pit and couldn't get out? Or failed to help his helpers. Rescue his helpers. Probably his target would have taken over as well, but what would have happened then? Because between then and there, from then to that point, it could have been different. It's like, I don't know. We'll see. But this is basically just me rambling, and I should probably end it here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one, whenever that might be. Goodbye.